What is the single greatest thing that you can make for your MSP so that way a client or prospective client would absolutely love to work with you? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs with sales training and marketing. Before I get into today's video, I do have to mention two quick things as always. Number one, there is a masterclass down below. If you haven't gone through it yet, it is a fantastic value add for your MSP business. It is something I recommend everyone to go through because it'll drastically improve the amount of money and the success that you're going to have with your MSP. Tips and tricks that I have never included in any of my videos otherwise. Number two is come hang out with us in the free Discord. This video was actually prompted from the Discord. So if you have questions, anything like that, it's just a fantastic community of people to hang out with. If you'd like to join, growth-generators.com/Discord. So let's talk about what is that single thing that you could possibly create that will give you massive, massive success. And I'm not going to make you wait for it. I'm going to give you that right off the bat, but I'm going to explain to you why it's really important to have that for both new clients and existing clients. So that thing is actually an ebook because, believe it or not, most companies have never given away, especially in the MSP world, an actual ebook. And that's the whole video right there. You can stop right now, but before you do, just hit that like button, that subscribe button, and maybe even that notification bell. I'm just kidding. Although I'd appreciate it if you did all of those things. But a lot of people in the MSP world don't understand the value of an actual ebook. Now, I'm talking about something that somebody could actually... Sorry, I buried my prompts here. Something that somebody could actually flip through, where they could go through page by page by page over and over and over again. Something they could print out and fully read, take a pen and mark it up and ask valuable questions on it. And that ebook is what it's like to work with not only an MSP, but doing one step further, what it's like to work with your MSP. Because there are two schools of thought with this. You have non-clients and you have clients. Now, I am going to make you wait for the non-clients, which is probably a little bit more important, but hey, YouTube watch time is important. When you give a ebook to an existing client that tells them exactly what it's like to work with you, or they're already working with you, you might be thinking, well, Harrison, why would I give it to them if I was already working with them? There's a lot that people don't realize or really understand. Well, yes, they are currently a client and putting money in your pocket every single month, even though that they already have paid. You still have to keep earning their renewal contract and their trust every single year, or however long that contract actually is. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think, well, I've already got the client, they're going to be there forever. And while most of the time, most clients will last for on average about 7 years is the industry average, you still have to earn their business. Just because you got them one time doesn't mean they're going to stay with you forever. You need to make a knockout service over and over and over again. I can't tell you how many MSPs don't leverage an ebook and show it to their customers, because the best thing in the world is creating an ebook about what you do, how you help them, and what an MSP is and what it's like to work with them. But imagine creating an amazing document and handing it to your existing customer and say, hey, we wrote this. We'd love your feedback on it. That builds a huge connection between you and the client that they've never felt before, because you're the only MSP that's ever done this to them. And they get to actually sit there, read it, and mark it up and say, oh, you know what? Oh, that is true. You know what? There was this time that you guys did a project for us, and look, everybody makes mistakes, but this one time you knocked it out of the park, and that blew my expectations out of the water. And by you giving them this ebook, you earn so much trust in the fact that this is what you're confident in the fact that you do, but that customer gets to feel like they're a part of the process. And we as humans have a massive desire to help other people and be a part of that process. So by creating this ebook, you actually not only earn their trust and they feel like they're a part of it, but when it comes time for them to sign the next contract and give the good old John Hancock across it, they feel so much more secure. They feel like they've been a part of your journey. And because of that, that client retention and that client lifecycle is only going to be extended year after year after year. And as you bring that to them, the other thing is they're going to give you feedback that you might not have actually thought about throughout that process. But also, when you do hand that to them, guess what happens? They have the ability to go hand it to the next person. That is huge. Yes, we can all send out the website link, but think about it. Maybe they're out for drinks with friends or maybe having lunch, whatever it is that they do in their extracurricular activities. Maybe they're out at the golf course and they could sit there and say, oh, you know what? I forgot that I had this thing in my backpack. Johnny's looking for a new company. Yeah, he could recommend them, but hey, Johnny, by the way, I work with your company. They gave me this thing. I thought it was actually really good. It is a really good representation of what they do, how they do it, and what it's like to actually work with them. I think you should have this. If you call them, great. If you don't call them, look, I just want to let you know, this is an MSP that we work with. It's probably going to be a similar experience with other people, but this is one that we work with. The trust and the level of trust that you develop building a really good ebook with that customer and giving them the ability to pass it on to the next person is astronomical. The amount of success that you can have with that is just it is unquantifiable because it becomes a incredibly large number. Now, that is for an existing company and the benefits for an existing company and the relationship, both having that, but an emotional relationship too that you develop is huge. But what about a new customer, right? There's two types of new customers. There are completely new customers, meaning they have no experience with an MSP. And there are new customers that have experience with an MSP, but want to potentially look at other options, and you might be on the chopping block. This works in both scenarios. Having that, for the person that has never had an MSP before, they really get to understand you can't make this like a quick little thing. Like, you really got to put time, energy, and effort in this. And we are coming up with a template. If you're interested, it will be available in Heroes down below. But having a really deep, thorough dive of what an MSP is, how an MSP actually benefits a new customer, and then additionally, what it's going to be like working with you from the onboarding process to the processes, the procedures, the team, the whole nine, is a massive, massive value. Think about it. The first time you ever did something or you bought something super expensive, you were really, really worried about it. At least I know I was. Doesn't really matter what it is. It's buying a car, it's buying a house, but a big expense, whatever a big expense is in your life. It could even be buying a nice camera. There's a lot that really goes into that. But when you get a nice book of explaining what it is, how it works, the whole nine, it all of a sudden puts your mind at ease. But not only that, what it's like to actually own that camera. Now, when a new customer actually gets to see that, who's never had an MSP before, a lot of questions start getting asked in their mind, but even better, they start getting answers from your ebook. That's where this emotional connection comes in. People buy most of the time based on emotions and then on needs. They get to see and develop an emotional connection with you based on the ebook that you've already written. And it doesn't matter how long it is. The more thorough, the better. They then begin to say, oh, okay, well, this is an MSP. This is what an MSP does. It stops that, well, tell me about yourself. Why should I hire you? That question is now gone because it's already been answered to the best of your ability in the ebook. They get to read that. And if they can print it out too, by the way, and you can get it printed out if you'd like, but they get to understand what an MSP is, how an MSP actually works, and if they decide to sign over a contract to you, what they can expect that process to fully look like. It will do so much of the heavy lifting of the sale. It is crazy. I cannot tell you enough. And it builds a really strong lifelong customer because you were the guide in a non-salesy way to help them answer questions because they're going to hire somebody. It's whether or not they're going to hire you or they're going to hire somebody else. Obviously, you want them to hire you. So that ebook does a tremendous amount for you. Now, what about clients that you're trying to take over their environment with? Well, the biggest fear that most business owners have when it comes to actually signing a new contract with a new customer or new MSP is, what is this going to look like? how much hair am I about to lose? I've already lost it all. But how much hair am I actually going to lose when I sign this contract? This process is going to be a nightmare. We got to go track down the current MSP. We got to give it they're going to give us a hard time. We got to get the passwords done. What does the onboarding process look like? Are they even going to do a good job? All of a sudden, the questions that this business owner had are gone because they had a tangible, or at least an ebook that they get to read over by themselves in their own free time without any pressure to develop a relationship with you, with your business, to ultimately grow and succeed. It answers so many questions and addresses so many fears that not that they're guaranteed to do business with you, but the likelihood of them signing a new contract or at least ending the current contract with their current provider is so large because they don't have to worry about what does this onboarding process look like? How are they going to take over passwords? Who's going to be handling our stuff? Where's the data going to be going? The more thorough that actual ebook is, the better off you are going to be, and the client is going to be so much happier. So it doesn't matter if it's a completely new prospect. It doesn't matter if it's an existing prospect. It doesn't matter if they've come from no MSP. It doesn't matter if they've come from an MSP. Having something that you can thoroughly present is huge because they genuinely feel amazing when they get to work with you. And on top of that, it proves that you're a real business. It's not like, well, we just kind of threw this thing together. No, we've been around long enough that we can create a book that you can actually follow. That person can go through it and feel confident when they hand you money every single month. It removes so much of that fear, so much of that worry. And the nice part is if it's an ebook, you don't have to spend money on paper if you don't want to, although some people do prefer a written out piece of paper. But additionally, you can update it in real time. So as people are downloading it, over the course of months and years, you can tweak it, modify it, and adjust it as your team grows, as your processes grow, as your onboarding gets fixed, as your pricing changes in real time. Yes, they're going to have the old PDF of it, and you can date that, but it's constantly working for you 24/7. And let me tell you, just like this green folder was sitting there with a sales script in it that I haven't looked at in a couple weeks, it's the same thing. It's still sitting there. It's easily accessible. They can go and read it whenever they want. That's the big benefit when it comes to this kind of thing. So if you're going to go create at least one of the best things that you could create for a potential new client or an existing client, build yourself an incredible ebook. What it's like to work with an MSP, what it's like to work with us, and our process for success. Those three things involved in that ebook will sell your services and at least get your foot in the door so you can then make the actual sale. But this will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you and get you out of that bind of what's the right thing to do. I hope you guys found value in this video. If you did, hit that like button. Hit that notification bell, subscribe button. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Share it out, friends, family, dogs, whatever it is. I love you guys. I will see you guys on the next video. Come hang out with us in the Discord. Check out the masterclass. Love you guys. Bye.